And it's go, boys, go. They'll time your every breath. And every day you're in this place, you're 2 days nearer death. But you go. Well, a process man am I, and I'm telling you no lie. I work and breathe among the fumes that trail across the sky. There's thunder all around me, and there's poison in the air. There's a lousy smell that smacks of hell and dust all in me hair. And it's go, boys, go. They'll time your every breath. And every day you're in this place, you're 2 days nearer death. But you go. Well, I've worked among the spinners and I breathe the oily smoke. I've shoveled up the gypsum and at nigh on made you choke. I've stood knee deep in cyanide, got sick with a caustic burn. Been working a rough fight scene enough to make your stomach turn. And it's go, boys, go. They'll time your every breath. And every day you're in this place, you're 2 days nearer death. But you go. There's overtime and bonus opportunities galore. The young men like their money and they all come back for more. But soon you're knocking on and you look older than you should. For every bob made on the job you paid with flesh and blood. And it's go, boys, go. They'll time your every breath. And every day you're in this place, you're 2 days nearer death. But you go. Well, I process man am I, and I'm telling you no lie. I work and breathe among the fumes that trail across the sky. There's thunder all around me, and there's poison in the air. There's a lousy smell that smacks of hell and dust all in me hair. And it's go, boys, go. They'll time your every breath. And every day you're in this place, you're 2 days nearer death. And it's go, boys, go. They'll time your every breath. And every day you're in this place, you're 2 days nearer death. But you go.
Good morning, Minecraft. Wandering Beekeeper here. How you doing? I'm doing better. Missed last week due to illness, due to multiple illness, actually. Had a molar blowout and abscess on me. I still got to get that fixed, but ain't no dentist in the United States going near a infected tooth, so been on antibiotics for a week now. That's for 5 days. Went in on Monday. This is day 6 on antibiotics. So Monday I gotta try and find a dentist, which is goddamn expensive. Theoretically, my job provides dental insurance, but the dental insurance provided by American employers is always shit. This is deliberate. Teeth are a social status marker, and so dental care is expensive in order to reserve it to the wealthy. If you have good teeth, you obviously have money. Welcome to capitalism. I'm Wandering Beekeeper. I've moved further and further left as I've gotten older. Content warning, I am old and cranky and likely to vent. I cuss, I make dick jokes and weed references, and generally pop off with whatever inappropriate thing is in my head. I'm hypomanic bipolar, which is an important differentiation because the manic phase is all giddy and delusions of grandeur and shit, but the hypomanic is characterized by irritability. So instead of getting fun times, I just get more grumpy. Is life. Hence the weed references. Very effective against hypomanic bipolar and does not fuck with your creativity. I will cite a couple of people. The musician Adam Ant, who did not write a song for many years because he was on court-ordered medication. After yanking the alternator out of a parked car and going back into a bar to take it to someone who had pissed him off. It was an oddly specific thing. Yes. The author, formerly known as Poppy Z. Bright, Billy is okay with the dead name. He's made it very clear that he still supports his former self and her writing career. He gave up his writing. Decided it was more important to get his bipolar under control so that he could transition and have some reasonable level of success with that. Yeah, does not write anymore because he can't. The medication just completely stops it. It's bad. So here's to living in a legal state where I can go across the road to a vape and smoke store in a strip mall and get a quarter out of the shake jar over the counter, pay for it with my debit card, walk out the door, and everybody's cool with this. And we've made a little progress here and there. It does feel rather like Soma. You know, they're legalizing weed just in time for the fascism. Make it a little easier to deal with. I don't know. Whatever gets you through the day in these times. What gets me through the day is beating up on ore and building weird multi-block machines. And let's just go on and get over to, I've done content warning. Let's get to a game screen here, because this is going to be all sorts of wild and strange, let me tell you. I have had 2 weeks. Normally, you would see a week's worth of progress. You're getting 2 weeks, and it's going to be a heck of a thing. I realized that the stronghold that I was using was cramping my style badly. I was having to tear out too many walls and rethink my wiring paths and running around through the hallways, through these little twisty hallways, and it was just being annoying as hell. And then there was a world gen issue with trying to generate alumina. Alumina ore is supposed to generate in the end. The nether and end ores have not been implemented yet. So, I started a new world, and I went into the config files, and I set alumina to generate in the overworld as well as in the end. Haven't found it yet. But then I just found my first little bit of fluorite recently, and it was not a lot. I've searched that chunk and its surrounding chunks pretty thoroughly. Did not find any more fluorite. So, still hunting for more of that. Let's talk a little bit about the setup and what we're going to be looking at. First off, obviously, we're in a world with immersive engineering. I mean, we've been sitting here staring at an immersive engineer's workbench for all this time. The engineer's workbench does some interesting things. Allows me, among other things, to do work on my mining drill. Drop it in here, and the interface changes. We can see I have a nice little shader here called the ACE. I've got 3 additional augers to bump the digging speed up. I'm in a peaceful world, so attack is pointless and meaningless. Advanced lubrication system, which makes the mining head last longer. large tanks so that I can carry more fuel. Using a steel drill head, which gives me a 3x3x1 mining area, which is really nice, and it is goddamn quick. Right now it is fully loaded and ready to go, and I'm going to demonstrate it in a little bit. But first, we're going to talk about the jetpack dwarves. The flying dwarves, I have a thing about dwarves and doing in-game lore, and if you've been following me at any point, you know I have a thing about doing this whole dwarven thing. I built a dwarf hold at one point. Built an entire village at with a base level of 11 in a 1.16.5 world, and that was all sorts of interesting. There's some vid of it on YouTube. Immersive engineering has to be put in first. You kind of have to work your way up through it. Immersive geology is an adjunct to immersive engineering. We've seen this before. It adds a tab to the engineer's manual that then gets you into the thing about immersive geology. This is beta. Yeah, we do not like to take half measures. Oh lordy, it is not for the faint of heart, let me tell you. Getting started. Yeah, you start with making a hammer and beating on rocks. And from there, well, the processing chains aren't really actually here yet. But you can work through them in JEI, which is fortunate. Chemicals, there's a few things I need to figure out. I need to be able to make. They're not in the manual yet. You know, forget finding anything in this. The important shit in the manual is in the multi-blocks, where we learn things about, like the reverberation furnace, which is a heck of a thing. Let me tell you, building that sucker. If you've done immersive engineering, the same basic principle applies. You build your multi-block and then find your red block and tap it with your engineer's hammer, and it does the bada bing thing here. There we go. And turns into the multi-block. I gotta build another of those. Whew. That's gonna be a whole thing. So yeah, a bunch of new machinery that has to be made, and let's just walk through what's done here. The Flying Dwarves immediately saw the advantage of it, the application of a jetpack to mining. When you live in a cavern environment and are constantly moving in 3 dimensions, the jetpack, well, makes all of this possible. Just look at all of that. I have had 2 weeks to build shit, and I have got a heck of a thing going. Let's just start with the basic tour. First, the vault. Simple storage and obsidian chests from iron chests. Very straightforward. Metal press, absolutely critical piece of machinery. And then we get into the refinery. This entire thing, the silos, the fermenter and squeezer, the tanks here, the refinery and the tank, it's all to produce biodiesel, which powers the diesel generators. Here's one of them over here. Careful, land on the cable, not on the scaffolding. That's high voltage. This is immersive engineering. You've seen that sort of thing before. Diesel generator running on biodiesel, supplying high voltage out to high voltage accumulators. Those bounce through transformers to medium voltage accumulators, which then send the wiring out to run everything. except I ran a high voltage line up that way to run the ball mill, the pelletizer, and the industrial mixer, because those are damn heavy pieces of equipment and they pull a lot of power. Immersive geology is not for the faint of heart. I'm running high voltage equipment. And of course, you know, I have an enchanted Faraday suit. I'm not taking any fucking chances here, people. So, full-on Faraday suit with ear protectors in the helmet, enchanted with unbreaking and mending and feather falling and, you know, stuff that you might need when you're working in this sort of environment. This is a bloody dangerous place. Let's just look at some of what I've got going. Let's start with ore processing. Ore processing all starts with a crusher. This is the ore washer. Instead of one block like you would have in GregTech, I have a conveyor belt to feed, to drop raw ore into the crusher. Another conveyor belt takes the dirty crush across and drops it into a gravity separator, which then washes the ore and puts it out the bottom. Let's look at this one over here. This one is set up to take a specific type of powder and separate it. We're going to separate out hematite powder. Let's just load it up. New version of immersive geology since the last time I played, since the last time I was on stream. The animation is back, and I am really quite happy about this. We can actually see the ore slide and the powder going down the sluice and water dripping, and we get a nice lot of animation here of being able to see the processing happening. If you're going to do processing in-world, show it. Yes, absolutely animate it in. That really is a finishing touch. You know, you need that animation. It really is well done, and it shows a commitment here to doing everything in world. Let's click that off. Okay, those two floaters will get picked up, yes, very quickly. They'll go on and get picked up by the sluice. And so, yeah, that all goes down the sluice, and we can watch it as it, at this particular point, changes from being hematite powder to being iron oxide. Powder processes much more slowly than dirty crush ore. Dirty crush ore flies through these things. Powder is, I'm thinking 5 or 6x. On the speed, it's more than 4x because the distributor overloads. Let's go look at the distributor in a minute. Okay, so we've seen that. The other crusher over here is the rechewer, and all it's doing is taking crushed ore and turning it into grit. The grit then goes to the ball mill over there, that rolling yellow cylinder. Jetpack fuel charge is good. Always keep an eye on your jetpack meter. This is the jetpack power station. I have a second jetpack in the charger and can swap out if need be. So that the ball mill here does the fine grinding, and right now it has actually gotten to the pyrite, maybe finally. Yippee! We're actually doing the pyrite side? That makes me so very happy. I've been waiting for it. I need a second ball mill, but it is an expensive piece of equipment, and it takes a lot of power. You know, that's high voltage up there, dudes. You know, I'm farting around with high voltage relays, and then, oh, you gotta love the design of the palletizer. The palletizer is a cool piece of machinery to watch to begin with, because that giant pan rotates, and I'll show you in a second as to what the palletizer does, but placeholder. That is just perfect. Oh, letting us know that, yes, oops, shit, I was not where I thought I was. Always check what's under you before you turn off the jetpack. Let's just walk over here, and I'm going to kind of skeet around here a little bit. Get back in here to where I can get up to the pelletizer. What the pelletizer does is it takes oxides like this, iron oxide. This is a byproduct of some of this work I'm doing. You'll see it in a minute where it comes from. We're kind of working backwards here. And what we're going to do is throw it into the pelletizer, and it has to actually be manually fed. I tried putting a conveyor belt up here, but the conveyor belt is way too fast for the throughput of the pelletizer and overruns it within like 3 stacks. Very annoying. So what it does is it takes that and it turns it into pellets with binding medium from the mixer, which is low on water. Need to look into that. Not sure why it's low on water. Its water supply should be good here. What's the problem with the water? Fluid pump is... yeah, shouldn't be a problem here. Oh no. Okay, down here, let's see. Got a refinery taking ethanol and processing it into across a silver plate into acetaldehyde. It is currently shut off. And the acetaldehyde then goes into this refinery with creosote oil and makes phenolic resin, which feeds over to this tank, which then feeds the bottling machine that makes the phenolic resin blocks. That'll use up some of it there. Land and not use up charge. When the mold goes into there, it gets separated out into a mold and a block, and the mold gets recycled back into this box. And that allows me to use up some of the phenolic resin out of the tank, which then allows me to take pressure off the creosote tank. The whole reason for making the Duroplast blocks is to do something with all the damn creosote that's filled up my coke ovens again. They're stopped again. Damn it, I gotta make more Duroplast. This barrel is full and it's gonna be going for a long time. Let's check this. This is in burner. In burner right now is processing tungsten oxide. Remember the pellets, the pelletizer. Well, the pellets end up over in the blast furnace because if you pelletize the metals, they process so much faster than raw ore. It's actually worth the time and energy expenditure in the electrically powered part of the factory before to get the metals pelletized before sending them to something that requires coal coke. I need to go turn the bottling machine back on. Let's turn that on and run out the phenolic resin. Get that tank emptied. So yeah, running tungsten right now, and it's got all sorts of other stuff up there waiting to go. This one is normally would be doing iron pellets into iron ingots. I don't have any iron pelletized right now. This one does iron ingot into steel ingot because I use so damn much steel. You haven't seen half of this place yet. Oh lordy, alright, so coke ovens with tanks of creosote that I gotta do something with. Which is why I'm making Duroplast block. It'll give it time. Alright, I need to go flip this on. Clickety. And start making acetaldehyde. Okay, which is going to blow through a lot of ethanol. Reverberatory furnace, one of the stages. Let's look at stages of processing. Let's say that we have millerite. We mine out the millerite and we get one of the three grades: poor, normal, or rich. And the grades determine how many ore drops when you put it in the crusher. Millerite, I was generally getting normal and poor. Pause it. So you run the millerite into the crusher through the gravity and into the crusher, and you get dirty crush. Run that through the gravity separator, and you get crushed millerite ore, and you have a chance of getting some gravel. I've been processing the gravel into sand and occasionally flint, and then processing some of the sand into glass. I have a lot of glass and a lot of Duroplast, and I feel like I'm going to wind up doing something with it. Not quite sure what yet. Crushed millerite ore. The millerite ore, you've got a couple of options. You can send it to the reverberation furnace and make it into millerite slag, which also offputs sulfur dioxide. The slag, then you recrush it and then put it to a chemical reactor, and it's an osmium precursor, but half the metals in the world are osmium precursors. Let's go back to here, and instead, let's make it into, and it's worth it, don't do the ore straight into powder. Do the ore to grit, and then the grit to powder. You'll save energy. You add up the Fe per tick, and over this number of seconds it takes, you end up saving energy by going to the crusher and then to the ball mill instead of directly to the ball mill. You want to pre-grind. Your millerite powder then goes to the pelletizer. Our friend the pelletizer gets made into pellets, and you drop it into a blast furnace, and 10 seconds later you've got an ingot of nickel and a unit of slag. I have so much slag. I have no idea what I'm going to do with all this goddamn slag. Oh my god, I have so much. No fucking clue. I think I'm going to want to like drain it off into a silo or something, just to put it somewhere. Lord. Alright, so that's a simple chain. Let's go look at molybdenite. Now, everything starts by going through the ore washer, just, you kind of like Great Tech. Everything goes in the crusher and then through the gravity separator, and then you got crushed ore. In this case, molybdenite, you've only got one option. It will only go in the reverb furnace. We put it in the reverb furnace, we get molybdenite slag, which then can be used a couple of ways immediately, but best thing to do is to go straight to the ball mill with it. In this case, you don't want to go to the crusher because you'll get slag gravel and it'll lose the you'll lose the metal. You take it to the ball mill, make it into molybdenite slag powder, and then it has to go to a chemical reactor with ammonia, and you get osmium compound dust, because you always get osmium, and the amide here, which then goes to the centrifuge, and you get waste complex, and you get molybdenum compound dust. The compound dust goes to the rotary kiln, becomes molybdenum oxide, and can then be pelletized and made into molybdenum ingot. And the skies were not cloudy all day. Immersive geology is for people who feel that immersive engineering is not detailed enough. I've said this before. This is also one of those mods that I tend to like, that goes way, way deeper than most people would ever even think of going. Lord. Okay, there's an easier way. Molybdenum oxide is what we're after, right? Because we pelletize it to get our molybdenum ingot. We can get that by going to a gravity separator with pyrite slag powder, which we get from pyrite slag in a ball mill, which we get from pyrite ore in a reverberation furnace. And if we go look right here at this reverberation furnace right in front of us, we see, let's just go land on it, it's cool, that it has in fact crushed pyrite ore that it is processing, also crushed molybdenite that it is processing, each of which is kicking out the appropriate slag. There went one into the barrel there, that then it, there's a Tom's cable under it. So this thing howling along, making this the pyrite ore. The pyrite ore then goes over to the ball mill here. And look, there's 4 empty slots here where there were stacks of pyrite slag earlier. This thing has been busy. Okay, it is cranking along at a goodly clip, and we need to think about what is replacing the pyrite slag, because it's going to run out of that soon. It's outpacing the reverberatory furnace easily here. Where is our friend? Boop, boop, sheelite, pumpkin. Here we go. Pyrite slag powder. And there's no pyrite slag in here. It's anything that's coming in is going straight back out. So, let's start working on the molybdenite slag. It's an awful lot of it. Take molybdenite slag over here. Oops. This is reminding me of the World War I biplanes that had all the rigging between the wings. There was an urban legend that said that you'd check the rigging by releasing a bird in between the wings of the plane, and if it found its way out, you knew there was a wire broke somewhere. Okay, let's do a sort on that, and then I'm going to put a filter on the Tom's hopper and start preloading molybdenite slag into this barrel while it's processing pyrite slag. It'll continue pulling pyrite slag until it runs it out, and then switch over to the molybdenite. I'm setting up to switch over. Okay, which means that I have... This is not kicked on yet because the thing down below hasn't kicked on. Oh, I should grab whatever coke there is available. And load end burner. End burner. Making the tungsten. tungsten, making the tungsten. There are reasons for this, and I will get to them in a little bit. I've got a long-term project going here. I am trying to build a chemical reactor, and that is requiring me to make hastelloy. And hastelloy requires me to go to the arc furnace with nickel, chromium, iron, molybdenum, and tungsten. I already have 8 stacks of nickel, 4 stacks of chromium, 1 of iron, waiting at the arc furnace. I have an arc furnace built. We'll go see it in a few minutes. I'm working on 2 stacks of molybdenum and 1 of tungsten. And I think I now have a stack of tungsten. There it is. Son of a gun. I have achieved tungsten. Okay. Fucking A. I still have to do molybdenum, which is on its way. It's just going to be a while. But in the meantime, I can get it moving by taking this pyrite slag here, pyrite slag powder, and I'm going to feed it through not 1, but 4 gravity separators. Let's go see the backside of all of this. But wait, there's more. The distributor. I thought 4 gravity separators probably be able to keep up, right? No. Maximum I can put in here is 9 stacks, and then it's all 4 of them are backed up, and I have to wait for them to clear. But there we go. We'll feed the pyrite slag to the distributor and let it roll through the conveyor belts and through the splitters. There's a splitter here. The splitters do not split evenly. I mean, you can stand here and watch it and see. It does not seem to be splitting quite evenly. Not sure what it's doing. I need to read up on the GregTech splitter. Or excuse me, on the industrial immersive engineering splitter. I was talking with July last night. Zoo, who streams on Wednesday nights, is streaming Monster Hunter Rise, which is a beautiful game, and watching Zoo's stream is what got me into streaming. But Zoo also plays Elden Ring, and the controls are different. The control mapping is different enough between Elden Ring and Monster Hunter Rise that switching between the two causes conflicts within muscle memory, where she keeps grabbing a particular button to do a particular thing, and no, it does that in the other game, and now you just got trundled. It's kind of annoying. I'm having the cognitive equivalent of this, going back and forth between GregTech and immersive engineering geology. The IEG world and the GregTech world are doing similar things and applying similar principles, but in different ways. And the difference is there's a cognitive memory, a muscle memory thing. I don't know. I'm having the cognitive equivalent. You know, you can see it's backed up there. It's not distributing evenly. This one's okay. This one's just fine. That one's backed up for some reason. Why is that one backed up? That's annoying. I mean, it'll be fine. It'll pick them up in just a second. It'll pick them up before they despawn. But I need to figure out the distributor, and I need to figure out the processing time thing on powders because it is so much slower. I'm thinking about building a distributor with 8 of these. Just put them in, like, put them in 2 parallel rows of 4 and put the distributor down the middle. I need vertical belts for that. Or dropping belts. I need dropping belts. There we go. Picked up. Alright. Okay, let's see. While that's running on the distributor, let's go look at the back side of this. That's the reach ewer and that's the ore washer. Got another diesel generator sitting here. Not doing much of anything right now. Got the usual rig set up here. The big thing being that the high voltage all gets taken off 1, 2, 3 over to the arc furnace. Not an arc reactor, an arc furnace. This sucker is a pain in the patoot. It takes for arfing ever to get in all the materials together and to get it built. It is in-game technology for immersive engineering. But once it is up and running, it will do massively parallel processing. Yes, you can have 12 items processing at the same time as long as it's all the same stuff. Now you're going to do 12 copies of the same recipe. So what I do, like for stainless steel, is I load coke and iron over here, and then I spread the chromium out through these cells as evenly as I can get it. Then I throw the power on. And you keep it shut off while you're loading it. You load it up, then fire the power up, and don't forget the slag will accumulate here and will not eject. You have to manually unload the slag from the arc furnace. Important thing to remember. I have right now, here's nickel and chromium and iron. And I will place in the tungsten. I need 2 stacks of molybdenum, and then I am ready to rock and produce hastalloy. Produced all sorts of stuff already. Alright, so we've seen, I think, is that everything? The distributor, this refinery is making sulfuric acid to feed to the chemical reactor, which doesn't exist yet. Be patient. Chemical reactor is probably going to go there, although it may, I don't know. I'm not sure. I've got to think about the space it's going to take and where I want to put it. Whether I want to put a platform over this opening here, or do I want to expand that platform, which actually seems pretty likely. Or I could expand this platform. I don't know. I've got options here. I've got a lot of vertical space here available. You know, there's a huge amount of open space here with platforms already, which is why I chose this place. You know me, I love hermit crabbing into an existing space. And this one has just been fucking cool. Alright, I gotta stop and think a second. I got... Theoretically, I got molybdenum working. I got 1, 2, 3... I got that much more of that. Why am I carrying around this iron oxide? Bump off that iron oxide. Keep the gold coke for right now. We're accumulating a little pyrite slag now that I have switched the ball mill over to molybdenite. There's so much I need to do through the ball mill. Just haven't got to. Copper oxide is working its way down. Let's see, various things happening. Stainless steel, silver. Let's go look at in-burner, because in-burner is kind of crucial here. In-burner is doing manganese right now. Woohoo. I'm good with that. It ain't molybdenum, but it's, we seem to maybe have gotten past the copper. I'm not sure what all is in here. There's copper, sphalerite, which becomes zinc. Odd of zinc. Now there's a little nickel, some chromium. Yeah, no molybdenum at the moment. Gonna have to work on that. Gotta go work on that. Alright. I have night vision granted to my character, and then I turned the particles down so that I don't see the swirlies. This is a dwarf. Yes, I can see perfectly well in these caves. Also, quality of life. I should talk a little bit. Let's throw this in. And while it's running, talk a little bit about the mods that I'm running in here. The base mod is immersive engineering. I've talked enough about that and done enough streams with immersive engineering. You know, we've just looked at the whole system with the refinery and the diesel generator and the electrical wiring and so forth. There's a lot of your infrastructure. That's also where the crusher comes from. A lot of the other machinery is from immersive geology, but the crusher is base immersive engineering. Immersive geology, for people who really seriously want to get into the metals, I should point out one of the mods that I added in is Zero, and you can see the Zero map in the upper right of my screen there, the Zero mini map, and that's not it. That's not it. That's the settings. Oh, bugger. I have no idea which hotkey is for the zoom. But anyway. Map. Zero's map. Zero's world map. Showing all sorts of wonderful things going on here. But there's a lot of other stuff. You can see I've got a couple of waypoints here. One for home and an M up there. M is for molybdenite. A deposit of molybdenite. Just on the other side of the big cavern here. I have been doing a lot of prospecting. I spent lots of time prospecting and bookmarking all of these deposits of various minerals. The smithsonite and the lignite have question marks because I have not found the actual vein yet. The other bookmarks are waypoints actually at the vein of ore. If I teleport to sphalerite, I will be looking at sphalerite. If I teleport to smithsonite, I'm going to be looking at a prairie where I have not found the actual smithsonite yet. Same with the lignite. I was kind of, with both of those, I was on my way elsewhere and just put a quick tag on them, and I'll go back and find the actual vein later. And then at some point go back and mine it out. Should show you how that works. This drill is an absolute joy. Okay, how is our... Well, we're still chugging along here, aren't we? Quality of life stuff. Zero's map has made it much easier to deal with keeping track of where the deposits are. And yes, I am teleporting. I am here to play through the ore processing, not spend all my game time walking from one place to another or riding in a minecart. I don't have create in here, so there's no trains. It'd be straight up minecart railway, which, you know, does work. See the Empire of One saga that I did with the straight vanilla survival no cheats, and built an empire held together by minecart railway. Various deposits of various things. Okay, we have processed all the pyrite. No, I'm still seeing animation in the... Okay, let's talk a little bit more. I've got Tom's simple storage because I've done immersive engineering and I've done immersive geology before, and they really... There's been a lot of discussion in both about storage and how to carry all that ore. So what I did is I put in sophisticated backpacks. I've got a couple of the mods of the backpack, a couple of the upgrades out right now because those are for mining. Bunch of stuff piled up in here that I really need to work my way through. Get some of this unloaded and such. Just haven't got to it all. There's been so much to do. Tell you what, this is still taking a minute. Let us go drop a little oxide into... I'm going to drop some iron into the pelletizer here. Zoom, and then wait. Yeah, you drop it in, the pan rotates, and get a nice bit of animation there. I am told, however, that the pelletizer is getting a model rebuild in the near future. We'll see what happens. I do kind of dig the animation. I like the big pan going around. That's serious work. That's multi-block animation. That's stuff going on. We got same with the ball mill. That thing, and it's not I love the fact that it's a little that it's not round, and as a result, it kind of looks like a giant rock tumbler. I mean, it really does look like a rock tumbler, doesn't it? I have gone through so many rock tumblers over the years. Although, to be fair, several of them were not used for rocks. I used to do mail, and when you have black steel mail jewelry and it's gotten a bit of rust on it or something, or you've got other rings that need to be cleaned, throw your rings or jewelry into a rock tumbler with a cup of chicken scratch that you can get at any farm co-op or rural hardware store, and run it for a day or so. And you will get a nice clean piece, just needing the dust removed from it, all the rust and grit and gunk removed, and throw out the chicken scratch. It's gross by that point. A rock tumbler and a cup of chicken scratch will clean steel jewelry really well. Black steel is a commitment. It's black annealed. The metal is actually blackened by being annealed in an oxygenated atmosphere. And so the carbon in the outer layer in the steel oxidizes at high pressure and high temperature, and it turns black. If you wear the stuff, the oils from your skin and the friction of it rubbing against your skin will polish it up, and it starts to look sort of like gunmetal. It's really pretty. But black steel is a commitment. You cannot wear it once in a while. It will turn to a chunk of rust. It needs the friction. It needs the oils from your skin. It needs to be worn. I used to tell people, if you're looking at the black steel, let me tell you up front, it is a commitment. It needs to be worn. If you do not wear it, it will get gross. Just be aware. Okay, let's see. Let's go back to the distributor and pick and harvest. Hopefully, I've dumped in about half loads of pyrite slag. Let's see what we've gotten out of these. I need to put a Tom's line across here. Molybdenum oxide. There we go. Much easier than going through all that nonsense with the reverberatory furnace and the rotary kiln, and I don't even have a rotary kiln built yet. Oh, I gotta build a rotary kiln at some point. Oops. Jetpack occasionally goes off on me. Alrighty. Let's take this back to the pelletizer and pelletize the molybdenum. Also pelletize some of the iron while we're at it. I probably could have put this in an easier accessed area, but you know. And then there was the fact that I forgot to clean out the gravel first. Oops. I have to be kind of careful there. Okay, molybdenum next. At some point, I'm going to put on a BRB screen and flip over to the GregTech thing so I can show off the gas turbine, because I did get the thing built. I was going to build it on stream, but Yeah, on top of the abscess tooth, I had some sort of stomach virus or something. I'm not sure. But last weekend was a total loss. Just in Saturday, I spent most of the day on over-the-counter meds and unconscious. Sunday, the fever broke, and I was able to start recovering from the whatever the hell the digestive tract issue I had acquired. I take precautions. I barely go out even. But yeah, I've had a lot of health issues the last 2 years. Keep telling people I hit 60 like a brick wall. Doing 60, it was brutal. There's been all sorts of shit going on the last 2 years. I understand now why my father got so grumpy at this age and acting like the warranty had run out, because the damn warranty ran out. You know, anything American made, if it's got a 90-day warranty, on day 91, splat. That was one of those Mad Magazine American jokes they tell in Poland. What's gray sits on a windowsill and hums and dies mysteriously 91 days after you bring it home. An American-made air conditioner with a 90-day warranty. Okay, put the iron oxide away. I'm not going to fuck around with it right now. Let us look through here, and where is the pelletized molybdenum? Pelletized molybdenum. Pelletized molybdenum over to end burner. Take it over to end burner. End burner is doing. End burner's got stuff stacked up so bad. I'm gonna interrupt. Ooh, that takes longer. I'm gonna interrupt Iron Beast, excuse me. Interrupt Iron Beast and have him do the molybdenum for a second here. There we go. We got molybdenum happening. All right, we got it happening. This is doing copper and yeah, look at that go. That is ripping through here. Granted, I've got 2 electrical preheaters, which helps, but pelletizing the copper speeds up the process intensely and saves coke. What all does end burner have still? Ooh, a full barrel of all sorts of shit. Mostly sphalerite and copper, it looks like. We'll just wait and see for that. Have to wait for that to run out. This is going, and it's just going to take a little while. It'll flip back to iron as soon as that's done, because, you know, it's full of iron up here. Would be. Would be if I'd throw more iron into the pelletizer. I get bored throwing stuff into the pelletizer. I need to let a Steel Beast run out of fuel, and I think I'm doing well on steel right now, yeah. How we doing on the pyrite? Let's go on and take that to the distributor. Loaded in distributor. There we go. And working toward it, working toward it. That's now going. That's going to take a few minutes. Thinking about what needs to go through the rechewer. Is there anything I need going through the rechewer right now? What have I got? I have chalcopyrite, which has to go to the reverb. Cobaltite, which goes to the reverb. Cryolite. I think cryolite goes to the crusher to be made into grit. Okay, let's get this to the rechewer and get it made into grit. Want to make sure that I keep the machinery running. If I've got anything to put in it, don't leave things idle. Okay, bag the hopper and then throw that in, and then there we go. There's our friend the crusher going. The crusher is loud. We'll go over here. Actually, we'll go over this way because I need to go to the distributor and see how it's doing. It is still distributing. Working and waiting on molybdenum. I'm wondering, I'm looking at the clock and looking at the rate of processing and thinking I might be able to make Hastelloy on stream if I'm patient, and what I need to do is wait for all that to run, and while that's running I could be throwing iron into the pelletizer. Let's go throw iron at the pelletizer. There's this much iron. Let's get that much iron into the pelletizer. I don't want to throw in any more copper. The end burner is backed up on copper, and I really wanted to get to the sphalerite and get the zinc done. Breaking 2 to 4 is easy. Breaking 4 to 8. Thinking about conveyor belts and about how they need to go together in order to do a distributor with 8 gravity separators. That's going to take a little thinking, and I'm probably going to want to sketch that out. I'm thinking I want to use a dropping belt or a vertical belt somehow. Use vertical space instead of horizontal space. But I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. Alright, let's go back to the distributor here and see if it's ready to pick up. Land, and we are still processing ore. I can see it coming down the sluice, which is good, both because yay the animation and yay a visual indicator that the machinery is still in progress. Wait for this to finish and see what additional molybdenum I can get out of it. Got nearly halfway there with the last run. Part of the key here is going to be the blast furnace using Iron Beast right now. Let's whoop up out of there before I run into high voltage. That would be bad. And off to the pelletizer. Get this molybdenum into the pelletizer. Come on, come on. Here we go. Okay, molybdenum into the pelletizer. Over here and wait for it. Let's have a look at what I've got here. Stop and think a minute about... Alright. That's going to the reverb, that's going to the reverb. This is currently going to the rechewer and being made into grit. And will be then made into powder. That's going to the reverb. That's not enough to fuck with. It's blocks. Lots. Waiting for the chemical reactor. Waiting to be pelletized. Got enough lead ingots right now. Don't need to pelletize much more. Fantastic amounts of iron oxide I need to throw in the pelletizer. Molybdenum oxide pellet. We'll grab those. Molybdenum ingot. What I'm looking for is 2 stacks, or at least 1. If we can get 1 stack of that, I can go on and do a run. We'll load in more molybdenum. Keep the coal coke topped up. Come on, Iron Beast. Inburner is cranking on the copper. Oh, hey! We're actually getting some clear space in there. Nice. Okay, that's empty. We can turn this off. That's empty. That's ready for that to go. That's ready for that to go. I need to come over here. Oh, I'm going to have to make more ethanol. Which means I got to go get more sugar cane. Okay, got acetaldehyde. Let's hit the switch here and start this refinery which will start cranking the creosote into phenolic resin. There we go. Oop. Had axolotls over here. Right. Had axolotls at a couple of different points. Okay, that is now full, which means, yeah, phenolic resin now going into the fluid tank. There we go. And we should see, yes, the coke ovens are draining as I use up some of the creosote oil to make the phenolic resin. Make a full tank of phenolic resin, or at least as much as I can. There we go. One of them's already kicked on. Drained out enough. There goes a second. And now they're all back. Yay, okay. Got coke production going again. Alright. Go better with coke. What are we doing here? We are going through the copper here. That's copper, and then we're out of copper. And we'll see, it looks like it's going to pick up chromium next. Alright. Fantastic. We can finally get through through the copper and into some of these other metals. That would be nice. Okay. That's going, it's going well. And that's going, and it's doing fine. I gotta do some stuff there. Iron Beast, how you doing? Let's go talk to Iron Beast here. Iron Beast is doing molybdenum. Have I got more pyrite slag to take to the distributor, because I still don't have enough molybdenum. I see I have 30. Here's molybdenite slag powder starting to come in. Molybdenite slag powder. I think has to go the chemical reactor. Yeah, it has to be reacted with ammonia. Not there yet. Got to get molybdenum other ways first. Pyrite slag. Bip, 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 bip. And take it to the distributor. I really need to rethink my ergonomics here. Having some problems with how I'm sitting, messing with my shoulder. 40 years of being in IT, sitting at a desk, chasing a mouse, has done not good things. I should switch on the, yes I should. Okay, let's drop down here and click. There we go. Switch on the, that'll get that going. There we go. That'll get the fermenter going again. Start feeding some of this sugar cane into the fermenter. Get it reloaded. Okay. Molybdenum. What are we doing? 34. Come on. If we can get it to 64, I can go on and do a run. Just trying to get it there. In the meantime, tell you what, while we're waiting on that, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I want to take 6 stacks of iron over to the pelletizer. The mixer does not seem to have much of a problem there. Okay. The mixer takes water and clay ball and produces binding agent. The binding medium that holds the metal particles together in the pellets. I'm going to do this for a couple minutes, partly to occupy my time and do something while I wait for the molybdenum to process. I got stuff in the distributor, I got stuff in Iron Beast. I need to wait for it to process. And in the meantime, and see about getting some of this done. The iron pellets that I'm making right now should show up in the hopper feeding into Iron Beast. It was only partly full last time I looked at it when I was running looking up. There will be no stream this coming weekend. I'll include a reminder at the end of the stream as well. I will be out of town this coming weekend. There will be no streaming from me this coming weekend. Resume 2 weeks hence. So it'll be another. It won't be another 2 weeks of progress. I'll be out of town for a week. I will not be doing a lot of Minecrafting during that time, I'm pretty sure. See how things go. Okay, is 6 of those. Let's go see how things are going. Swoop down and around. Okay, that's done. Done? Are we done? More molybdenum. It is a chance of molybdenum with each run here, so you pays your money, you takes your chance. How's this doing? It is full of molybdenite slag. Okay, fine. Oh, the Tom's terminal serves kind of a similar purpose to the AE2 terminal at the refinery in GregTech. It's more or less the control panel of the factory, although it's more a monitoring dashboard in a way. Let's see, I've got cryolite, disappearing and repairing is grit. What all is going on with some other things? I've got, still got copper rolling in. I just saw 3, see it picking up. Still got copper coming in, haven't gotten past the last of the copper. Here's some more molybdenum oxide. I got 50 ingots. Come on. Another 14 ingots, Iron Beast. You can do this. Go talk with Iron Beast. Give Iron Beast a bit more molybdenum. Iron Beast has a good deal of iron waiting to be processed. Steel Beast, I am going to let run out of fuel. It really doesn't matter if there is all this iron sitting in there. It's oof, 3 sneezes in a row. Wow. Got to the mute button just in the nick of time there. Okay. Yeah, as much iron as I have, it really doesn't matter if I've got a barrel full of it sitting around, not doing anything, waiting. I got 14,000 iron ingots in here. I should probably block a bunch of it, pick up less room. That out. Stack, 2 stack, stack. Let's get that down a little ways. There we go. Put this in. And that will take up less room. Oops. Ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. 53. 53 on the molybdenite. Seeing any more pyrite slag powder, it is all run through. Okay, I'm not going to get any more. I've stopped getting pyrite slag powder, and I'm getting, where is it, molybdenite slag powder now. I'm going to be getting molybdenite slag powder for the foreseeable future. I got a barrel of it over there, and another 3,000 to feed in, and more coming in from the reverberatory furnace all the time. So the ball mill is going to be busy with molybdenite for the foreseeable future. That's okay. I got a bunch of pyrite slag through it. I don't have huge amounts of pyrite slag right now. I need to let it run. Need to let it accumulate. One of the problems, well, not necessarily problem, just one of the things one of the considerations, maybe it's a better word. One of the considerations for any of these mods is that you want to do stuff in batches. Don't do one-offs. Doing the molybdenum the way I'm doing it is fiddly. I mean, we're watching as I fiddle with it. Let's see. Let us take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and take that to the distributor and go on and get it going. I've got so much magnetite and hematite that needs to go to the distributor, and the most I can load in at a time is 9 stacks. And even then, at that point, it will back up a bit, but the backup will clear before it despawns. Fuff. Thinking about stuff. What are we doing here? Starting to accumulate, maybe? No, not really. Okay. That carried over. What else do I need to be doing? You know, stainless steel is also a thing. I don't have a huge amount. What goes into stainless? And I could do a run. I could do like one run. Stainless steel requires chromium, iron, and coke in equal measure. Chromium, coke, and iron. And while I am waiting for these last 4 here, let's go run the arc furnace and fire up the diesel generator and do the stuff and get things going over here. Make things happen. Down here and flip that switch and this starts up. See the fan rotating on this side. When you shut it down, the fan coasts to a stop. That's a nice touch. I love seeing the animation get that detailed. Okay, arc furnace. I need to process chromium with coke and iron, and I want to distribute this very widely here. There we go, like that. Spread it out. unload the slag manually, cut it down. 2 stacks of stainless steel made. Haha. Let's take that back around. We'll have a look here and see how this is doing. It's well on its way, but it does need more processing time. Zip. Go all the way back to the other end. And we'll drop in the slag and the stainless and the stainless, and we will pull out a stack of molybdenum. I don't have a second stack yet, but that's good enough. I can go make Hastalloy. Alright. I know I promised Greg Tech. Don't know if I'm going to get to it. I'm going to make Hastalloy. I've been after this for a week. Oh, not in a couple of days. Anyway. Alright. Hastalloy. Hastalloy, I need nickel processed with chromium, molybdenum, tungsten, and iron. Nickel, we'll go on and grab 2 stacks here, with chromium, iron, tungsten, and molybdenum. Let's load this in. Chromium, iron, molybdenum, tungsten, nickel, hold on, give me the rest of it. I'm going to go on and load all of this in, even though it's not all going to process. And I'll just bring the rest of the molybdenum when I have it. All right, let's see if this works. Whee. Wow. What an thing. Oh, Lordy. What a thing. That is, yeah, it's loud. Sorry, but that's the way it works. And, oh, it didn't finish draining because I switched it off. That's okay. I have 4 stacks of Hastelloy. I now have 4 stacks of Hastelloy. Alright. Been after this for a couple days. This is a critical part of the chemical reactor. Bring ingots around. Drop the Hastelloy in, drop in the coke. Down here. 25 stainless steel blocks, light engineering, heavy engineering, and then we ran into that's what I'm eventually going to have put together. Here's the materials list. I need 8 blocks of Hastelloy. I need Hastelloy sheet metal. Shit, I'm gonna have to make more. Alright. 1, 2 for that. Let's go over here and get the plate out. Put the plate on. Put the rod away and feed the Hastelloy into the bonker. Get the bonker going. Yes, I know that's the name of the machine in Creed. It's a very, very similar thing, you know. It's a bonker. Alright, get that going. And then I need Hastelloy block. I'm supposed to have 8. Was it? 8 blocks of Hastelloy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 blocks of Hastelloy. Holy crap. 8 blocks of Hastelloy. 10 chemical engineering blocks. Chemical engineering block takes Hastelloy sheet metal, silver ingot, and Hastelloy mechanical components, all of which require Hastelloy plate, which I am currently making. And I'm not going to have enough. I need to take the rest of this Hastelloy and drop it into here. I got, oh boy, I'm gonna need so much more. Good morning, Freya Raccoon Cat. How are you doing? I am making Hastelloy plate in the bonker, getting prepared to make Hastelloy sheet metal and Hastelloy mechanical components so that I can make chemical engineering blocks. You're having apple Danish and milk. I had a peanut butter and jelly on toast and coffee. Then that's my normal breakfast. Being unable to eat pork or red meat in general, my breakfast is a little different than the usual American. Wish I could do like idli and sambar, or vada and coconut, but that would be a little involved. I was only in Singapore for 6 weeks, and I still miss being able to run out in the morning and get an idli set and a tea breakfast, you know? It's always the food I miss. Okay. For the engineering block, I have to make some sheet metal. We'll make some sheet metal. I have to make some mechanical components. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can then maybe make chemical engineering blocks. And I need a total of 10 of them, and it makes them 4 at a time, of course, because, you know, that's how it works. Okay. I always end up with, why do we extras? Alright, 1, 2. Chemical engineering blocks. Drop 2 in there. Drop the rest in there. Okay. Chemical engineering block. Asteroid sheet metal 64X. You're kidding. You're not kidding. Okay, go get the plate. Drop that in. 64 asteroid sheet metal. Need a stack. There we go. Okay. There's a stack of asteroid sheet metal. I need a redstone block. Got one already made. And I need 33 fluid pipe. I need to make fluid pipe. Oh boy, do I need to make fluid pipe. Okay, clear that. Fluid pipe takes iron plate, and I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boop. And it requires 33. I'm going to actually go on and put, just keep it down. There we go, 33. Okay, I now have all the parts to make the chemical reactor. Finally. Finally. Have all the parts to make the chemical reactor. This thing is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 across. I need to make notes. I need to be taking notes here on this. My notepad. Okay. Chemical reactor. Is 9 by 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 9 by 6. Where's the power on this damn thing? There's the it looks like an input of some sort. I've got inputs and outputs here. Blue for input, orange for output. Where do you... Does it use electricity? Yes, it does, doesn't it? Oh Lord, it's high voltage. It's got 2 high voltage connectors here. Right in the fucking middle, really? Right in the fucking middle? You're gonna put it... You're gonna make me run high voltage wiring up. I'm gonna have to run it underground. I'm gonna have to bring in the wiring from underneath and bring it up so that it's right there and I don't have a safety issue. Which just gave me a Minecraft cape. Oh yeah, they're handing out Minecraft capes to everybody. It's a tie-in to the movie. High voltage connectors right there by the control panel. You're putting the high voltage connectors next to the control panel and on the outside so that I have to reach in past the high voltage connector to throw the lever. I have opinions about this. There's an industrial safety issue going on here. I would very much like those high voltage connectors moved around to the other side of the machine from the control panel. Oh, come on. But this is what I have to build. Okay. This is what I have to build. Lord. This thing is a monster. And I'm not sure where I'm going to put it. I gotta think about where I'm going to put this thing. 9 by 9. 6. 6 is not a big deal. It's the 9 by 9. This is not big enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this is not a wide enough space. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. To put it in. I can't put it here. I'm going to put it up here. I'm going to put the chem reactor up here on this platform here, on this brown one. Because I can bring high voltage wiring right up underneath it. I'm going to put the chem reactor here. Alrighty then. I got 5 minutes. Let's go take this out on some sphalerite or something. What have I got? Let's look at this sphalerite. Oh. This one's kind of mined out, isn't it? Not entirely, but yeah, not great. Let's look at this sphalerite here. There we go. Oh, look at this. Look at all this sphalerite here. Yeah. Let's get this set up. Advanced magnet. Advanced pickup. At which point, my backpack will take care of this for me. Alright, now I'm down at 29 here. I should go trace this up, if I can. See if I can find the top of it. Better idea. I've got a jetpack. TP tilde 150 tilde. Boop. There we go. Sphalerite. There we go. Land. And with a jetpack, I can safely tunnel straight down. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Oops. I can safely tunnel straight down because I won't fall. There we go. All right. This thing kicks ass. And with the magnet and advanced pickup upgrades, all the stuff that I'm breaking is dropping straight into my backpack, and I've got a stack upgrade and a compacting upgrade. So, yeah. Transporting all this ore becomes so much easier. Alright, it's going around the corner there. I want to come back to here. Okay. Move to you too. Theoretically, I'm up at the top of this. There we go. Yeah. Okay. So what I end up with is this. It is, and I'm going to break here at the mining, having shown off the drill and having shown off a bunch of other stuff. And let us go to this panel here, this screen here, because it is 10 o'clock and it is that time. Okay, let me see if there is anybody I can throw a raid to. No. Okay, nobody I'm following is currently on. So, gonna wrap it up here. It has been 2 hours of Minecraft immersive geology. Never did get to Greg Tech this morning. We'll do that next stream, which will be, next stream will be tomorrow night, but tomorrow night is going to be Roots of Pacha. 8:30 p.m. UTC-6, cozy farming sim, romantic dating sim, lovely piece of work, beautifully written, beautifully animated. Please be here, 8:30 p.m. tomorrow night. More Minecraft 2 weeks hence, same bat time, same bat channel, 8 a.m. UTC-6, more Greg Tech, more immersive geology, who knows what all else. It'll be 2 weeks, we'll see what happens. In the meantime, if you have enjoyed this stream, my previous VODs are on YouTube at the URL in the lower right. You can find a lot of Minecraft and a lot of other stuff as well. And you'll also find the Truck Community streaming schedule in the upper left with the aforementioned Zoo in July and Freya Raccoon Cat, who has been gracious enough to drop in this morning, and a host of other great streamers doing a wide variety of stuff. There's first-person shooters and horror games and Monster Hunter Rise and all sorts of fun stuff in there. Check out the streaming schedule. Lots of stuff going on. And so, we'll close out here, and we'll see you